This family is happily taking a family photo, but their adopted black boy can only look on pitifully. At this moment, Annie disregards her family's feelings and calls Michael over to join them for the photo. He clumsily squeezes into the group, and with the click of the camera, the black boy feels the warmth of a family for the first time, and the wheels of fate begin to turn. Michael has just turned 16, but he stands over 2 meters tall and weighs more than 300 pounds. With 1 foot larger than a girl's head, however, his intelligence is only that of a 6-year-old. He doesn't know who his father is, and his mother is a drug addict who had long lost custody of him in just a few years. Michael has changed schools 10 times and has been adopted by 5 or 6 families, but none treated him the real family member. He often heard his foster parents arguing over his presence. Each time, Michael was forced to leave, making the laundry room his shelter from the wind and rain, and leftover popcorn in the gym his entire dinner. Yet, it's hard to believe that this seemingly clumsy homeless boy would grow up to become a superstar. Even more incredible, this is a true story. On a rainy early winter night, Michael, wearing a short-sleeved shirt, shivers on the road. At this moment, Annie's family happens to pass by. Sean rolls down the window and asks Michael where he is going. Michael says to the gym. Sean drives away, but kind-hearted Annie finds it odd because the gym is already closed. She immediately has her husband turn the car around to go back to Michael. She asks why he's going to the gym so late under Annie's persistent questioning. Michael quietly explains that it's warmer there. Annie asks if he has a place to stay tonight. Michael first nods but then shakes his head under Annie's stern gaze. Annie looks at her husband, who instantly understands her intention. Michael gets into their car and goes home with them. Upon arrival, Michael's eyes widen as he sees the luxurious villa for the first time. Like in other homes, he temporarily sleeps on the sofa, but it's the most comfortable sofa he's ever slept on. However, Annie can't sleep as she starts worrying about bringing a stranger into her home and what to do if Michael steals something. Her husband calmly says they will know by morning. The next morning, Annie finds the neatly folded blankets on the sofa, and Michael is already gone. She feels ashamed of her suspicion and runs out to catch up with him. It happens to be Thanksgiving, so Annie invites Michael to stay for a meal. As lunchtime arrives, the table is filled with delicious food, and the family eagerly gathers around it. Michael joins them. The sister kindly hands him a plate, but he only takes some fried rice and greens that no one else wants, then secretly pockets a piece of bread, fearing that eating too much would make the family dislike him. When Annie comes out of the kitchen, Michael is savoring the meal, and Annie feels his respect. She looks at her family lounging lazily, eating in front of the TV. Annie turns off the TV and insists everyone eat at the table, as a holiday should be. The family joins hands to pray, and Sister Collins reaches out to Michael without hesitation, guided by the younger brother. Michael shyly extends his large hand. Thus, he experiences his first Thanksgiving, feeling warmth and respect for the first time. After dinner, Annie decides to take Michael to buy some winter clothes. But Michael insists he has clothes. Annie points out they are too old. They stop the car by the roadside, and Annie questions Michael about his background, asking who takes care of him. Michael is reluctant to answer, and Annie, feeling helpless, follows his directions to the slums to get some old clothes from his birth mother. However, Michael locks the car door, fearing for Annie's safety in a place filled with loafers. Michael goes alone and finds an eviction notice on the door. Realizing his mother has been evicted, sitting by the wall, he silently cries, accustomed to handling his emotions alone over the years. Returning to the car, Annie, sensing something is wrong, takes Michael to a big and tall store. Seeing the expensive tags, Michael says he doesn't like the clothes, eventually choosing a discounted item, showing maturity that breaks Annie's heart in the evening. Annie asks if Michael wants to stay. Michael eagerly agrees, comforting Annie. The next day, Annie arranges a room for Michael with a bed big enough for him. Michael asks cautiously if it's really for him. Revealing he never had his own bed, Annie chokes up, hiding her tears in the next room, imagining the hardships of his childhood. Determined, Annie decides to adopt Michael, giving him a real home. News of a black boy living in a white household spreads, with wealthy wives mocking Annie, questioning her safety. Annie, furious, confronts them, ending the gathering on a sour note. Back home, Annie seeks her daughter's opinion, and although Collins doesn't oppose, she's visibly unhappy, enduring classmates' gossip. The next day, Collins sees Michael pushing a swing for kids, realizing he deserves kindness. In the library, Michael avoids Collins to not cause trouble. Seeing the strange looks from classmates, Collins sits beside Michael, feeling warm inside. Michael's admission to the same school is thanks to the football coach, who saw potential in Michael's stature and agility when he first saw him play basketball. Breaking rules, the coach recruits him. Soon realizing Michael's low intelligence hinders his understanding of football's techniques and rules. Michael's reluctance to attack frustrates the coach, expecting aggression from kids from the slums, yet Michael remains gentle, never retaliating. To help Michael grasp football's essence, his brother uses spice bottles to demonstrate tactics, creating custom training plans to improve speed and endurance, even acting as a barbell for arm strength. One day, Michael asks Annie for a driver's license, confusing her as he doesn't have a car. Michael explains it's for identification, leading Annie to hastily start adoption procedures. Learning of Michael's tragic past from records, his addict mother had many children taken away by the state, with Michael forcibly removed at 7. Annie, upon signing the adoption papers, decides to visit his mother, a frail, weary woman who tearfully entrusts Michael to Annie, knowing her son has found a good person. Michael, always finding his way back to his mother no matter where he was sent, now has someone truly caring for him. Annie holds a family meeting to ask if Michael wants to join their family, officially making him a member. Michael soon gets his first legal ID, no longer invisible. His father surprises him with a pickup truck, thrilling his brother who urges a joyride. An accident happens, wrecking the car but miraculously sparing his brother. Police are baffled, noting the airbag should have injured the boy. Annie finds Michael's arm injured, realizing he shielded his brother, taking the impact. At school, a psychological test reveals Michael's protective instinct scores high, explaining his fierce protection of family, but hindering his football on the field. He still avoids harming anyone, frustrating the coach. Annie intervenes, telling Michael to protect his teammates as he would his family. Understanding this, Michael's performance improves, awakening his potential, leading his team to victory. His brother records and sends a game video to college recruiters, impressing them. Michael performs brilliantly in trials, securing offers from top schools if his grades improve. Annie hires tutor, including his father for philosophy. Michael graduates with decent grades, receiving numerous scholarship offers. He leans towards Tennessee, but Annie prefers Mississippi, their alma mater. Michael chooses Mississippi, but faces an investigation questioning Annie's motives, suspecting she used Michael for his talent to make money. Angry and confused, Michael confronts Annie, who reassures him, distraught. Michael returns to the slums, facing taunts from old acquaintances until a fight erupts. Annie searches for him, finding Michael calling her mom for the first time. They talk, with Michael revealing his mother's love shielded his innocence. Annie apologizes for not consulting him, promising support no matter his choice. Michael, choosing Mississippi for family ties, convinces the investigator of his genuine decision. On opening day, Annie, conflicted with joy and sorrow, sends Michael off, giving him a heartfelt hug, representing the world's warmest embrace.